Hi everybody, welcome back to Quarantine Cooking with Carolyn. Today I'm going to show you how to do a Caribbean style jerk pork roast in your crock pot and coconut rice with black beans to serve with it. Now, just because it's summertime doesn't mean you need to put the crock pot away. In fact, you should continue to use it because it will not heat up your kitchen the way turning on the oven will, or even turning on the stovetop sometimes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take this lid off and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, we're going to start this recipe with a 3-pound pork shoulder. Now, I am using actually a pork loin because that's what I had in my freezer. And right now we're talking about using what we have, and this will be just fine. So let's go ahead and get going. What we're going to do next is we're going to take 2.5 tablespoons of a Jamaican seasoning blend. And not all grocery stores carry this Jamaican blend. You generally have to go to a bigger grocery store to find it. If you can't find it, you can get it online at savoryspice.com. Okay, now to that I just added a little bit of water, and you don't want to add too much. You don't want too thin. I may have actually made this just a speck too thin, but that's okay. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to season the roast with a little bit of salt. And then I'm going to put on my gloves because you'll see why. It's going to get a little bit messy. Okay, I've got my roast in this handy dandy little pie plate that you've probably seen in every video I've made practically. It's so handy. And you're going to rub that paste all over. See why I want the gloves? And that it really looks terrible, but boy, it smells great. There's like cinnamon and allspice and all kinds of yummy stuff in there. There's pepper, I think. I think there's some pepper in there. It just smells so good. So you're just gonna rub that paste, and I wanna get all of it in there. All over the meat. And put that right in the crock pot. Then off come the gloves. And we'll move on to the rest of the ingredients. To that, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of firmly packed brown sugar. And another handy tip, my brown sugar never goes hard on me. Now, granted, I use it fairly quickly, but I always keep it in the plastic bag. I twist it really tight, and then I put it in a sealable container, and that keeps it really nice. So even when I don't use it for a while, it still keeps really nicely. To that, I'm also going to add either 3 cloves of minced garlic or 1.5 teaspoons of the pre-minced jarred garlic. And if you're me, they're probably going to be heaping teaspoons because I like garlic. No, I'm not Italian. 1/2 cup of orange juice. Okay. And last but not least, oops, and I forgot the onion. We're going to come back for that. All right. You want about 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. And this is a fairly small-ish lime, so I'm going to just do the whole thing. There we go. Might be a little more than 2 tablespoons, but who cares? It's going to be delicious. And then 1 cup of diced onion. And I just did it up in my processor here. And this is it might be a little bit more than a cup. That probably looks pretty good. Okay. And then I am going to give this a little bit, just a little bit of a stir. It doesn't really need a whole lot. cover this and cook it on low for 8 hours. Simple as that. The Jamaican pork roast is almost done, so now it's time to start the coconut rice. So in order to get started, you are going to need 1 can of light coconut milk. And this is 13.5 ounces. So that's going to go in my medium to large saucepan, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on to get it started. And then you're going to add 1 cup of water. And a pinch of salt. And we're just going to let that come to a boil. The coconut water mixture is boiling, so I'm going to add 1.25 cups of long grain rice to this. I'm going to give it a little stir. Now it's important here to use long grain rice, not instant rice. Okay, give it a little stir, and then I'm going to cover it up again. Lower the heat to a simmer and let this cook for 18 minutes or until most of the water is absorbed. Now, while that's happening, you can dice up about 1/2 cup of red bell pepper. You can also dice up some green onions for this, or chives, and some fresh cilantro. I am not a cilantro fan, so I'm going to leave that out of my rice. You also, while this is happening, can rinse and drain 1 can of black beans. The liquid is all absorbed in my rice, and I have set the pot to the side, and I'm going to leave it covered for about 5 minutes before I add the remaining ingredients. So I'm going to come over here to the crock pot now, and this has been smelling so good all day. Oh my gosh. In fact, I didn't tell you this earlier, but I have used this recipe on more than one occasion for catering because it's just so delicious. And you can see it is falling apart as I just pull it out. You can see, look at this. I'm just poking at it with the tongs, and it is just falling apart. It is so moist and delicious. And that's the way you want it. You want it just kind of shredded like that. Beautiful, just like that. And then you're going to take the sauce that's remaining in the cooking liquid, all those yummy onions, and you're going to pour that over your meat. And if you're more talented than I am, you can kind of pour it right out of the bag. I'm going to see if I can get the rest of this. There we go. That was pretty good. I didn't make too much of a mess there. So there is that. That is ready. And I'm serving this tonight with a little tropical fruit salad. The pineapples were beautiful when I went to the store. So the next bit now remains is the rice. So let's go ahead and open that. And we're going to fluff that with a fork. And to that, we're going to add the 1 can of black beans, the red bell pepper, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, and your green onions or chives, and your cilantro if you're using it. I am not a cilantro fan, so I'm leaving it out. Cilantro is such a funny thing. People love it or hate it. There's very little middle road with cilantro. So anyway, so there is the rice, and I'm just going to pour that into a serving bowl. And that wasn't too hard, guys. I'm going to eat the pork over the rice with the fruit on the side. So give this a try tonight, guys. I know you've got this.